Hey, Marlins fans, welcome to a new episode of Big Fish, Small Pod here on the Fish on First podcast channel, providing you with complete Miami Marlins coverage. Our pod presented by our merchandise sponsor, About the Fans. Go to aboutthefans.com, scroll a tiny bit to find our FOF collection. Save 10% with the coupon code FOF10. That is FOF10. I'm Eli Sussman, as usual, and this is a Monday episode, which, as we tend to do, it's a prospect spotlight touching on players from each full season level of the Marlins minor league system in 15 minutes or less. Talking to you on the opening day of the Florida Complex League season for the Marlins as well, the rookie level team stateside. So we'll find a way to work them into future prospect spotlights as well. For this one, just sticking with the full season levels, low A Jupiter, high A Beloit, double A Pensacola, and triple A Jacksonville. And the last guy that we're going to touch on really pushes the definition of a prospect, but we'll get to him at the end. We work our way up, beginning at the low A level. It's not always about spotlighting guys that are playing well. It's about guys that are piquing my interest, and I think are going to pique your interest as well. So Carter Johnson is one of them, because he was my favorite pick from the 2024 Marlins draft class, their second round pick, a high school shortstop out of Alabama. They challenged him early on. He played a lot of games last year in Jupiter as an 18-year-old, and he struggled, but I kind of brushed it aside. A lot of other guys, particularly at that level, which is known to be a very low-scoring environment, have struggles offensively their first year. With him, we're at the point of the season where I'm kind of concerned. He is currently our 12th ranked prospect on Fish on First. Our prospect rankings will soon be updated, and he's going to fall a little bit at the next update. Here in 2025 through 25 games, he is slashing 186 batting average, 257 on base percentage, just a 245 slugging percentage. That's a 53 WRC plus, even when adjusting for the run scoring environment. And he's striking out more than 35% of the time. I was just looking for some sort of improvement from year to year at Jupiter, and there has not been any at all. It has actually gone in the wrong direction from that aspect. Playing quite a bit of shortstop, but not flashing a lot there, particularly with some of the teammates that he has at that level. It's difficult to foresee him sticking at shortstop as he moves up the ranks in this system, even if his bat does come around. So yeah, I wanted to touch on him particularly right now because of the start of the FCL Marlins season. He seems like a candidate for a reset, to get, you could call it a demotion. At the most gentle way to put it is that he could use some time to get back to who he really is, facing some less experienced competition, get himself into more favorable accounts, and show that he can do some damage. Because at this point in his career, just very little power showing up in his game to go along with just a generally difficult approach at the plate, a lot more swing and miss than we anticipated. So I do wonder if, not imminently, but at some point during this upcoming month, if he could benefit from going down to the FCL and then earning his way back up. Moving up a level to high A Beloit, Fenwick Trimble, another pick from that 2024 Marlins draft. If I could check really quickly, the 4th round pick. So not right after Carter Johnson. Who was in between them? It was Aiden May, Gage Miller in between. Fenwick Trimble, just about a $500,000 bonus out of James Madison University. He's one of a few guys from that draft class who have already made it up to the high A level. He's quietly performing extremely well there at the start of the season, moving his way near the top of the Beloit Sky Carp lineup. He is slashing 247, 402, 403 with more walks than strikeouts. That's always a great sign. A 137 WRC plus and 14 for 15 on stolen base attempts. This is a team that they're right up there with any in minor league baseball in terms of stolen bases per game, in terms of efficiency. And he's the guy leading the pack. He's the one with the most steals in Beloit to this point in the season. And he's playing all 3 outfield positions as well, including center field. He's shifting around between the 3 to this point in the season. So it's been a really effective start to his pro career. Like last year, he was in Jupiter for a little bit, and the numbers didn't really jump off. And so far here in Beloit, even moving up a level, his production really has spiked offensively. He's listed at 6'3", 200 pounds, and watching him play, he seems smaller than that. So the athleticism doesn't really wow you. I'd say he's an above average runner, despite all that stolen base totals. I wouldn't necessarily push it much higher than that. terms of a scouting grade. And to this point, no home runs this season, if I have that right. No homers yet. One home run this season, one home run total so far with him in the minor league system. It's not a ton of loud contact on the higher end, but he's been a good baseball player, and he's just been really productive in a way that I think deserves some recognition, puts him on track to potentially climb to Double-A later this summer. So he's somebody that could be relatively quick through the system. In terms of the upside, it's still to be determined just because the tools themselves aren't overly loud for Fenwick Trimble, but it is an 80 grade name. I think a lot of people noticed that at the time of the draft. So that alone makes him somebody that's very interesting to root for as he moves his way through this Marlins system.
Fish on First has partnered with About the Fans to launch a merchandise collection. Rep the FOF logo in more Marlins-inspired apparel. Find it all at aboutthefans.com. Enter coupon code FOF10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. FOF10 for a 10% discount.
Moving up one more level, Double-A Pensacola. We're going to go to another top 30 prospects, Josh Ekness. He is exactly number 30 on the FOF top 30 entering this season, and he has done nothing to hurt his stock so far this season. In terms of relief-only prospects, he doesn't get much better than Ekness. It's a high 90s fastball, a gorgeous slider as well that pairs so well off of it. He's not allowed a single earned run here in 2025. He was drafted in 2023, and he's already shoving at the Double-A level. 16 strikeouts this year in just 9 1/3 innings. What you love to see is the control getting sharper and sharper as he moves up the organization. One reason why he fell to the third day of the 2023 draft is because of, he was not a successful pitcher in college. He had a 6.34 ERA during his collegiate career, a lot of that as a starter, but still, you see this a little bit more often now in Major League Baseball today than you used to, of guys that just were not getting outs during college, but if the raw stuff is there, then on the professional level, there are certain tweaks you can make that can all of a sudden lead to a big uptick in strikeouts and an improvement in control. So for a guy that struggled so much to throw strikes, even in college, and his first summer in pro ball, that walk rate came down considerably last year. So it was pretty close to league average. And then this year, just 3 walks, 9 1/3. So there's really no holes to poke in his game so far this year. He's been used in these high leverage situations since last year. So that's always good practice as you move up the chain. You're not counting saves in the minors. Guys will never get huge totals there, but he has a couple so far this year. He has finished 6 out of 7 games overall for Pensacola. Just an incredible reliever. So now if you zoom out and you look at his stats since the start of last season, it's a 2.02 ERA in about 85 innings pitched with Ekness. I could see him getting up to the big leagues before the end of this year. I really can. And that would make him the first 2023 draft pick to do so, because it's just a very classic profile that we've seen play well at all levels of baseball, between those 2+ pitches that he has. And now to be able to get ahead in counts makes it really difficult for anybody to make solid contact off of a Josh Ekness. Definitely wanted to highlight him before we get too far into this season and before potentially he gets bumped up to Triple-A Jacksonville, which I would not be surprised if that happens in the not too distant future. We finish it off with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and that is Janson Junk. You remember him from spring training. He was really impressive during Major League Camp this year, came to Miami as a minor league signing. It came relatively close to making the team coming out of camp. He suffered this brief injury scare. I believe it was a back concern during what would have been his final spring training tune-up. Never went on the injured list. He was ready right near the start of the Triple-A season for Jacksonville, and he's been in their rotation, and he's been awesome in their rotation so far this year. Janson Junk, if I check this out, do I have this right? He leads the entire system in strikeouts this year at all minor league levels. 35 strikeouts in his 36 1/3 innings, a 2.48 ERA, and a 2.36 FIP to match. You don't see that very often, where not only is he getting awesome results, but there's really not a whole lot of luck going his way. He is earning it to this point. He's been genuinely great. About half of the earned runs he's allowed this year came in one bad start. And I think you can say the same for his walks. Like, he's only walked 5 guys this year, and 3 of those walks came in that one bad start. You scrub that from the equation, and Janson Junk has been incredible. You would expect him to be, to some extent, because he's a 29-year-old. He has had big league experience in parts of 4 seasons. That went pretty badly for him. But nonetheless, if you're repeating the AAA level a few different times, you got to take the stats somewhat with a grain of salt at that point. His has just been so remarkable. And it's also worth noting how balanced they've been against righties and lefties. He's been getting them out at almost the exact same clip. Both of them have a sub 500 OPS against Junk this season. He has a deep pitch mix, and a lot of his strikeouts actually come off of his fastball, which is becoming increasingly unusual. But because of the ride that he gets on that pitch, the way he commands it, that's where he usually finishes off his batters. He does still have a slider and a curveball and a changeup to round things out, and to keep batters off balance from both sides of the plate. There's just really not much more that he can show for at this point to earn an opportunity. It's been well documented how much this Marlins starting rotation has struggled this year. I can't necessarily put my finger on why Valente Beozo got a couple starts with the team right now instead of somebody like Junk, for example. I know that 40-man roster spots are precious, but there are a couple of arms on this 40-man roster that you could squeeze off and still hold on to at the moment, whether it's as a starter or just gets his first taste in long relief. This is somebody that I think has the ingredients to get out at the big league level for a Marlins team that's been held back by that very thing. So it's been a bit annoying how the lack of urgency the Marlins have had to shake up their pitching staff and give themselves a chance with different arms that are performing really well in Jacksonville. So Junk is on one of many guys on the Jumbo Shrimp that are pitching well this season, but I'd put him at the top of the list in terms of ones that I think can meaningfully improve the Marlins major league staff and eventually in their rotation for some length of time this season. I think he's earned that opportunity. The adjustments he's made during the offseason have, I think, made him a better pitcher than he's ever been at any point in his career to this point. Our 4 guys under the spotlight this year: Carter Johnson in Jupiter, Fenwick Trimble in Beloit, Josh Ekness in Pensacola, and Janson Junk, AAA Jacksonville. So I am Eli Sussman for another small pod here. Check back on the channel frequently, and we'll have other shows covering all aspects of the Marlins organization, and we'll keep it concise. Brought to you by About the Fans. Coupon code FOF10 at aboutthefans.com to save on our Marlins FOF merch and our other Marlins inspired designs. We have a few things cooking on new player centric designs that'll go up on t-shirts and other merch that we hope you purchase and support what we do. And I think you'll look good doing it in public. All right. Appreciate all the support that you provide to us already. Become a super sub if you aren't. fishonfirst.com/subscriptions to sign up for that. And yeah, tune into the rest of our programming found across fishonfirst.com. Go fish.